Thanks. Hi, good morning. My name is Yisi, and I'm the founder CTO at Mask. And today I'm going to talk about the topic of building a decentralized social media with IPFS and Next.ID. Well, I would just briefly talk about like the building blocks. The reasons why we're building this, and then the building blocks, and then the potential possibilities enabled by this. And first of all, actually, we launched our projects in Taiwan. Well, not launch our project, but announce our project. This is our first like official meetup, but it was like happened like 5 years ago in Taiwan, at this like Tianlong 网络书店 or 书局. And it was like super exciting because like we were focusing on privacy and data, and then people usually don't really care about that. But when we talk about this like to a lot of like Taiwanese friends, they care about this a lot. And then we gained a lot of like great feedbacks from them, and so that we just decide to announce our project officially in Taiwan. And this, yeah, just like something to mention. And at that time, we only have like one product called Maskbook or Mask, but now we have like a lot more. We have like TestCube. It was a mobile input method, so you can use your like you can just like type and then encrypt your messages to whoever you want to encrypt to using. We were using like PGP, but like we found like PGP has like it was like too complicated and then too like tedious, and then the payload is super like long, and it doesn't like fit in any like mobile like modern social medias or like instant messaging apps. So we decided to like make a better one, but well, like people don't really like cherish this kind of things because like they don't really know like how like encryptions works. So we just like decided to like pause this project for a little bit. And then we have like Twitter, which is like a third-party Twitter application. But after like Twitter has like suspended their API access, we no longer like maintain this project more. Well, which is a pity. And Next.ID, which is the identity protocol. I will just like briefly. I will talk more about it later. And Firefly, it's an aggregated timeline, social media timeline, aggregated social media app, so that you can just like have multiple social medias in one app. So you can just like browse like your Twitter, Mastodon, and anything you can, or Lens and Fatcaster in one app. And Mastodon, which is the thing, the projects I'm gonna talk about later today, which is like I think it's a better version of like social media built purely on IPFS. So why decentralized social? I think this is a really good question, and I don't really have an answer for that. Like many people have like the reason because like they think their privacy or data are abused by the major social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. But many more people think this is a good opportunity to make money or whatever. But like we started this project Mask in 2019 just to like fight against like Facebook. That's why we called it Maskbook at the very beginning. But we got sued by them, so we just like we need to change the name from Maskbook to Mask, but whatever. So it's built on Facebook and Twitter in 2019, and then it's a layer on top of all social networks. So it's not just on Facebook and Twitter now. It can be like so. It's a browser extension. I will just like you will see the demos later. And we want to help users regain the ownership of their data, identity, and then privacy. And there's a like very key like concept here, which is called the persona, which is just like cryptographic identity. You can just like generate your own. It's like self-centered identity, so you don't really rely on any like Web 2 or like centralized services to generate your identity and then manage them. But think about it, like your Web 2 identities are super vulnerable because you don't really have the ownership of it. You just have the access to your data, like your account, and then you can, you have the right to post, to like, to repost. But like whenever like the platform think you are a threat or think you're not like suitable for their platform, they can just like suspend your account because your account or your identity is just like single data entry in their database. And then this persona is able to bind with like both Web 2 and the Web 3 identities, and then which will be covered later. And okay, so basically, the problem we want to tackle is like your privacy issue on Twitter. and Facebook. Back in 2016, 17, 18, there's a super famous Cambridge Analytica scandal. Like that actually just happened not just in the US, but also in UK, and then like in Mexico and a lot of different countries. So like Facebook and other social media just like abuse your data to control, like to post you some like targeted like advertisement to like control, well, like at that time they control like implicitly or explicitly control the United States like presidential election, Brexit election, and then like Mexico general election. So we want to like help people regain the ownership and the privacy on the social media. But how? So we decided if we can just like help people encrypt their data directly on social media, so that like these like social media platforms no longer have the access to these data, so that they don't really know who you are and what your hobbies are and then what you like. And in this way, you can just finally control your data, and then you don't really have to be like controlled by these platforms. So it's pretty simple. But it requires a private and public key pair for the encryption. So basically, you generate this like a persona, which is just like private and public key pair, and then on Facebook, just like you post something like "Hello World," and then we will just use this AES key to encrypt it, and then we will just like generate another like ephemeral key pair. This is like followed by ECIES. If you know ECIES, it's pretty simple. But if you don't, it's just like encryption scheme used by PGP, and then we will just encrypt this like AES key. So this AES key is a symmetric key pair, so that it's just like it's a key to encrypt and decrypt your data at the same time. So we will just like encrypt this key and then share that with your designated recipient, like your friend. So you don't really have to. Well, you're still like posting on Facebook, so we're still using their database, but like and then CDN and everything. But all they're storing is just like this like gibberish. So it's like a random byte. But like if you have the access to the data or like the access right you can access to the key to that, you can decrypt the actual content behind it. So it'll look like this. But but later on we think we cannot just like we don't really have to like just allow people to post like encrypted posts there. We can also like basically you can encrypt everything like applet or like a small extension. So at that time we were thinking, so like these like social media apps don't really allow you to upload attachment to your like post for sure. But we want to do this with our extension. So we collaborated with like Arweave, so that you can just like upload a file onto Arweave and then just like inject into your post like this. So like people who installed Mask will see something like this. So you will see like a button there to click on, and then you can see the preview of this file or download it directly from Arweave with no like centralized access and centralized servers. And on the right, it is a wrap packet, which is like Hongbao, like in Chinese. We were thinking, well, there was Hongbao was like very famous on WeChat and like Tencent like products, so that you can just like distribute money to your friends in a group chat or directly to them. And then we were thinking if we can do this directly on Ethereum, and there we go. We just like inject this like functionality into Ethereum, and then just whenever you send some money, send some tokens to a smart contract, and then just like inject this into the post, and then people who can access to this like a post can just like claim the token from that directly without any centralized services. And then, we don't do like just like post. We also like did a lot of modifications directly on these like social medias. Like on the right side, we rendered this like a sidebar for like just for like crypto people. You can see like there's a like crypto news and event and a new NFTs that are being minted. So basically, we can do everything with this like like extension, and we want to do a layer above the existing social media. Like people who don't really have our extension can see like the social media as a way. But if you install it, we will just render more things, more features for you, because we believe in the like freedom of like interpretation. You can interpret this like web or this like internet however you want. And we have like many more things, but this is how you like post encrypted data. But we just like ignored like skip these like for now. And then if you like search for a mask, yeah, we do have a token. If you search for a mask directly in Twitter search bar, we render this for you. So you can just, if it's on like any DEX, you can just directly swap with your like connected wallet. It can be a MetaMask or like built-in wallet. So basically, our goal, sorry. So our goal is to onboard more users. So like you don't, if you know like crypto, you can just connect to your wallet. But if you don't, you can just like use our MPC controlled persona, so that you don't really have to worry about your private key. And then we will have we will also have a smart contract wallet for you, so that you don't really have to. Well, basically, you don't really have to control any like private key to control all these like identities and asset, but you take it your own risk, because yeah, this is how it works. And then we treat it as like trial wallet for new users. So if you like crypto and or like Web3, you can just like using our like we will like definitely just airdrop you some tokens for you to like browse the Web3 world easily. And if you like it, you can just like find the ways to get on board. But if you don't, just treat it as a trial wallet. You don't have to worry about it later. And then we will. Well, I don't think I have like enough time for a lot of like explanations, so I'll just like hurry up. So Next.ID is our like internal identity protocol, which is just like the protocol around the persona. So it's like a protocol to bind your different identities together. So basically, if you have like private and public key pair, but you want to connect with your like Web2 accounts like Twitter, all you need to do is just like you need to sign one way, and then use your Twitter account to post some like signatures or something that only the owner can do to prove that you have the ownership of both identities. And then you can do like connect with your Web3 wallets by easily signed by both ways by directional signatures. So it's like permissionless, trustless, and decentralized. I don't want to like cover these like today, so you can, but you can just definitely check out my slides later if you're interested. So this is how it works. On the left side, these are Web3 accounts. So you just sign both ways. If you want to, well, we rebrand like persona to avatar now. So basically, they're the same thing. If you want to bind your like Web3 wallets, just assign both ways to claim the ownership. And on the right, you can do the same. Sign one way and then just do something that only the owner of your Web2 account can do, which is usually like post something, and then to connect these. So we call it like identity graph, so that like people, whoever found maybe like your Ethereum wallet, can find your like other like identities, like your Twitter account, like or your Facebook account, or anything that is connected with this persona. And this is how like avatar interaction look like. So basically, in the past, you only have like one-to-one mapping or one-to-one interaction. Like if you like interact with someone on Twitter or like on Facebook, but we can aggregate them all together into a like more comprehensive like graph interactions. And then this is like kind of the social graph we envision, because like for now, if you talk about social graph, just on Ethereum, it's just like purely just like interactions between two Ethereum wallets. But in this way, it's more like interactions between two souls or multiple souls. And we do have like ported these identity graph onto like a smart contract. So we do have a demo on there here, so that you can just directly query all these like identity bindings on any EVM chains. But we just have this demo on like a Polygon Mumbai, but you can definitely check it out later. And then with this, what we really want to do is like to do some like really small credit loan for users, so that if you don't really have any, well, it's really hard to get on board to get some native tokens if you're just newbie to this world. So we want to airdrop you some token, but we don't really want to airdrop you. We want to like treat it as a loan, so that you can just maybe like buy some of your like identities and then get airdropped using these credits. And then we do have a demo for that, but you can check out later. Actually, the core thing I want to mention today is Mastodon, which is like our topic today, building a decentralized social media just purely on top of IPFS and some other like like protocols like Next.ID. So basically, the reason why we're doing this is pretty simple. We are maintaining 3 of the largest Mastodon instances in the world, which are like Pawu.net, Mastodon, MSCDN.Japan, and Mastodon Cloud. We do have like 1.5 million users in total, which is a huge number. So that we like spend a lot of money and time maintaining all of these. This is huge pain for us. The reason why we became the maintainers of these instances is pretty simple. So like the previous maintainers cannot sustain anymore because like we are paying like thousands of dollars per month just for free. Like these services are super if you try any of these services are super smooth, but it costs a lot of money. You cannot just sustain with with your heart and love. So we took over their like maintenance because we want to maintain a better or like freer internet for these users. But it's really hard to really make it sustainable, and also it's even harder to scale that. There were 2 like really huge time point like when people came to Mastodon, when Elon Musk bought Twitter. So a lot of people just escaped from Twitter to Mastodon. But Mastodon, this kind of like a federated network, social media, is not designed for a single instance with a lot of users. So we want to really decentralize it so that more people can join our force to maintain different multiple Mastodon instances, so that make it more sustainable. And with the more people who maintain the servers or instances in this world, the better, the more decentralized this social media can be. So we decided to build a newer version of Mastodon directly on IPFS, and the previous the mask or the Next.ID are just the building blocks towards this. So there's a new account system. We replaced username and password account to a private public key pair. But it's really hard for new users, so we decided to use passkey. And we have been watching how web authentication go since it's finalized in 2018. But just until last year, major companies decided to onboard passkeys and web authentication, which is a great opportunity for us to do this. So each user can just generate a private and public key pair on their phone. And then, it's like a seamless experience. They don't really have to worry about storing these keys, because these are all stored in your phone, in the security enclave. And then each action can be signed to prove authenticity, which is a huge plus, because nowadays you don't really have the signatures of your post, which means you cannot prove you posted something. Only the Twitter or those centralized services can prove you are the owner, but they can easily just alter all of these things. And then we do have a new data storage architecture. For previously, they were all stored on centralized server, but now we're moving all of them to IPFS, not just the post, but also multimedia. Now metadata is also stored on IPFS. So basically everything is on IPFS. It's born there. But if you want a better experience, we do have the caching or the cache options. But it's all it depends on your option. If you want a better experience, you can use our cache version. But you want a more decentralized one, just use the IPFS directly. No data or service solely depends on centralized services, and this is our promise. And something else that's happening right now is with EIP 7212, which is not finalized yet on Ethereum, but just got approved on Polygon. It's also live on Polygon Mumbai, by the way. With this, passkey signed data can be directly verified on chain. So this EIP just adds the pre-compiled SECP 256R1, which is the most popular curve that has been implemented on like major like phones or major devices, so that like also impact your like passkey support. So you can just like sign the data and then directly verify them directly on like blockchains. So like with this, each post can be tokenized without an like external oracle anymore. So if you want your Twitter data or Mastodon data on like any blockchain, you don't have to like rely on any like centralized service or third-party service. You can just like sign it, and then you can just like put the signature onto the blockchain directly, and then you can prove this is yours because it can be directly verified. And then cross-chain interpretation is guaranteed because if it's on AVM, it's everywhere on the EVM. And we do have a demo, but I'm not gonna show it today. And this is how the sign up works. So you just like go to the sign up as usual, and then put your username and then passkey label, which is the name for a passkey, and then just connect with the wallet, and do a bunch of things. I'm not gonna demo it today, but just like pretty smooth for new users. And then sign in, and then and whenever you are posting, and then these actually this is like the normal Mastodon instance like interface, and then everything you see here, like my username and then the hello and then the multimedia, the image, are like all stored on IPFS. And then we are just providing this front end for you to access them. But if you don't really want to access from our front end, you can just access them directly from IPFS. And this is something we think it will be like replacing a lot of like existing social media in the future, which is like both user friendly, but also like opening a lot of like new opportunities. So I'm just like skim this for real quick. So pay the conf is possible if you don't really want to like maintain your data or like pin your data on IPFS. You can just pay us or pay any third party. And then we can do end-to-end encrypted messaging everywhere because you have the keys. You can just encrypt to any public key you want using very mature technology. And then Web3 native applications directly render in timeline, just we show in like with the support of Mask, and applying to other like social network protocols. Now we're just focusing on Mastodon, but it's relying on AP. But we can do that with like a Lens, Fatcaster, or like any other like social, or like Blue Sky. And then data indexing offloaded to third-party services, so you can have the search function features provided by any like existing third-party companies, and then directly on IPFS because we don't store the data anymore. And on-chain data indexing through like our identity graph, and so much so on. And if you are interested in what we're doing, I don't know. I think this is the last slide. Yeah, okay, yeah. So if you want to try it out, we do have a demo. And we really want to hear more like feedbacks from you guys. So if you're interested, just contact me through Twitter or my email. And that'll be all for my talk today. Thanks. Sorry,
Thank you, Yisi. And now we have 5 minutes Q&A time. Does anybody have any questions? Okay.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. So I just arrived a little bit late, but I was wondering how would you compare like with Farcaster like right now? Because that's kind of like, I think on the last part what we were saying is on the social media side, and you put everything on IPFS, right? Which is on the technical architecture very different from how Farcaster were doing it. And so I'm wondering how like, perhaps like what kind of challenges have you encountered, and how would you compare like the trade-offs between your architecture and like Farcaster's?
Well, basically, I don't think we're competing with like Fatcaster because like I think these like new social medias are just great like attempts to no one knows like how like Web3 looks like or how Web3 social look like. But what we're doing is actually setting on like the maintainer perspective. So if you are a Mastodon like maintainer and you want to be more sustainable, this is how what you want really want to try. Because like now on Mastodon, there are like at least like millions of users. And then we do have like 1.5 million users in total. And then eventually we really want to like turn these people like into, well, we still want them to have the same experience, just like this. You're having the exactly same experience on like Mastodon, but if you want to try something else, try something new, you can definitely just like, get on board to this like a new world seamlessly with our like architecture. So like what we really want to do is like these users just want most of them just want a pure social media that's not targeted by those like vulnerable third party. Well, those like bad parties. But like some of them are super like advanced. They want to do like something really new. So this is their like great opportunity. And then when we just like turn these like 3 large instances into this structure, these people can easily switch to a new world. And this is what we really want to do, because we not just want to get more sustainable, but also we want to get like people on board this new world in an easier way. Because now, if you like hear about Web3 or like crypto, all you can hear is like you can make more money. But we really want to provide a better, like alternative options for users to think, to experience, to play with. And this is how it works. But comparing with like Fatcaster, I don't think we have any like, well, Fatcaster supposedly should be like more decentralized than it is now. But they have like different features where different targets, I guess. So I'm not gonna really compare with them. And then this is more like side projects of our company, and we really want to do it purely like open source and free way. So I don't know.
Got it. Well, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you, Yisi Liu. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to approach us.